Have you ever ignored a feeling deep inside, only to later realize your inner voice was trying to protect you all along? One of the biggest lessons that changed me was learning to stop second guessing myself, because many times we already know what we feel. We're just afraid to trust it. Hello, everyone. This is Marilyn Mars, and welcome to Marilyn Mars Odyssey, real conversations for real life. Today, I want to share one lesson that truly changed me, and that lesson was this: I stopped second guessing my inner voice. For a long time, like many people, I would feel something deeply inside, but then I would question it. I would overthink, analyze, seek constant confirmation from others, doubt what I was sensing. Sometimes my inner voice would warn me about people, situations, decisions that I have to make, environments. But because I wanted clarity from outside sources, I ignore what I already felt within. And many times later, I realized that inner voice was not confusion, it was awareness. I think one of the reasons many people second guess themselves is because we live in a world where people are constantly taught to trust external opinions more than their own discernment. People begin saying, maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm imagining things. Maybe I'm wrong. Also, people may tell them the same things also. And while wisdom does require balance and reflection, constantly dismissing your inner awareness can lead to emotional exhaustion and unnecessary pain. Constantly dismissing your inner awareness can strongly disconnect a person from themselves emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. Inner awareness is often that quiet internal signal that indicates or causes us to notice discomfort, inconsistency, danger, dishonesty, emotional imbalance, and lack of peace. Many times people sense something deeply long before they can logically explain it. But when they repeatedly ignore those internal signals, they begin living in conflict within themselves. And living in internal conflict, my friends, is exhausting. For example, a person may continuously feel uneasy in a relationship, emotionally drained around certain people, unsettled in certain environments, uncertain about decisions they are forcing themselves into. Yet instead of listening internally, they override these feelings with excuses, denial, fear, guilt, external opinions, emotional attachment. So over time, this creates emotional exhaustion because the mind and emotions are constantly working to suppress what the inner self already recognizes. It becomes mentally draining to continually convince yourself that everything is okay when deep down you feel it is not. This eternal battle can create anxiety, emotional burnout, loss of confidence, self-doubt, emotional numbness, and unnecessary pain often follows because ignoring inner awareness can keep people connected to unhealthy relationships, toxic environments, one-sided situations, repeated disappointments, and emotionally unsafe people. Many people suffer longer than necessary because they keep silencing what their inner awareness has been trying to tell them. Sometimes the pain is not only caused by the situation in itself, it is also caused by the constant resistance against what a person already feels deep within. There is a difference between fear and inner awareness. Fear creates panic and confusion. Inner awareness often creates quiet conviction. That quiet feeling may not always shout, but it consistently returns because something within recognizes that all is not well. And one of the greatest forms of healing and emotional maturity is learning to stop abandoning yourself internally just to maintain external comfort. Because peace often begins the moment a person becomes honest with themselves. Sometimes deep within ourselves, we already sense when something is unhealthy, when someone is dishonest, when an environment is affecting our peace, when something no longer aligns with us. But fear often causes people to silence themselves. Fear of being wrong, disappointing others, losing relationships, making difficult decisions. So instead of listening internally or listening inwardly, many people stay stuck in cycles of confusion. One lesson life eventually taught me is this: peace often comes when you stop fighting what you already know deep within. Now, this does not mean becoming impulsive or emotionally reactive. It means learning to pay attention to discernment, inner conviction, emotional awareness, patterns, wisdom gained through experiences. Because sometimes your inner voice notices things before your mind fully processes them. And I believe many people lose themselves because they spend too much time ignoring their own inner clarity while trying to gain approval, validation, or certainty from everyone else. One of the greatest forms of growth is learning to trust yourself again, to listen, to reflect, to discern, and to stop abandoning your own voice. Because the more disconnected people become from themselves, the easier it becomes for confusion to control their decisions. But clarity begins when we slow down enough to listen inwardly. So today I want to leave you with this question: how many times has your inner voice tried to guide you, but you convince yourself not to listen. Thank you for joining me on Marilyn Mars Odyssey, Real Conversations for Real Life. Until next time, keep reflecting, keep moving forward on life's journey. If this conversation resonated with you, subscribe to Marilyn Mars Odyssey, like and share this video, comment below. Have you ever ignored your inner voice and later realized it was right? Let's continue these conversations together. More love, more light. This is Marilyn Mars Odyssey, where every conversation is part of the journey.